Welcome to the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Thursday, June 9th. Heat will continue to build across the Great Basin over the next few days with very hot temperatures going through Friday and into the early part of the weekend. Temperatures will increase to 10 to 15 degrees above normal across many of the areas in Utah and Nevada with very dry conditions and single-digit to low-teen relative humidity. Winds will start picking up on Saturday ahead of a strong cold front that will be approaching the area, so we will see some breezy winds over western Nevada and also in southern areas with very low relative humidity after this period of heat. Right now it looks like these winds will generally be in the 20 to 30 mile per hour range, but we will see much stronger winds Sunday and Monday, along with some cooler temperatures and precipitation moving in. Over the last 24 hours, we just had some light showers yesterday in Idaho, but really no lightning across the Great Basin. Great Basin fire activity remains light with just a couple new fires, small fires reported over parts of northern Utah into Idaho. Over the last 1 to 2 weeks, we've continued to see the precipitation focused on the northern portion of the Great Basin, where above normal precipitation continues across Idaho, especially across southwest Idaho. This precipitation has even dipped down into northern Nevada and northern Utah, but still western Nevada down into southern areas of the Great Basin remain exceptionally dry. Currently, some of our fuel moistures in the south where our fuels are most critical, our ERCs, are well above normal at record levels in many areas of southern Utah into southern Nevada and also above the 90th percentile. Over western Nevada, even in areas that are on the dry side or have been dry for quite some time, ERCs are above normal but not quite at records for the time of year, so we're still in the curing process over western Nevada. Further north across the northern half of the Great Basin, ERCs remain below normal, which especially across Idaho and Wyoming with the wetter conditions. The satellite loop from this morning shows the strong ridge of high pressure across the Great Basin that will continue to build. We do have the area of low pressure off the west coast, which will continue to approach, again bringing us those gusty winds by the weekend and also cooler temperatures and some precipitation. For later today, again, the ridge just dominates. Don't expect any shower activity, just hot and dry conditions, especially across the southern half of Nevada and Utah. Relative humidity remains in the single digits over southern areas and in the teens over much of Nevada and Utah, and still remains higher across Idaho. Winds today will generally be light to moderate, just some breezy winds in far southern Utah in the low 20s. As we move into Friday, that ridge moves a little bit further east, with the trough approaching off the northwest coast. No high risk for the Great Basin, but still hot and dry conditions across much of Nevada and Utah. Relative humidity remains basically unchanged, teens to single digits over Nevada and Utah and the Arizona Strip, higher up north. We will see some gustier winds on Friday across Idaho, some gusts in the 30s to maybe even approaching 40 miles per hour in the central Idaho mountains, but fuel's obviously not critical up there with recent moisture. We will also see winds pick up a little bit across Nevada and Utah, but still in the low to moderate range. On Saturday, that trough starts to move in. We will have some gustier winds to deal with and also some moisture moving into far northern areas. Relative humidity remains low across Nevada and Utah and starts to increase as that moisture moves into Idaho. We will see continued gustier winds up north, but also over western Nevada and the Sierra Front, and picking up over southern Nevada into southwest Utah. These areas obviously have been very dry with the hot temperatures recently and also the lack of precipitation. So if we do get some starts, we certainly will see some growth over parts of these areas going into Saturday. Right now, winds not high enough for high risk, just generally in the 20s to around 30 miles per hour. Maximum temperatures, certainly some big changes coming up. We will continue with the heat this week with highs in the 90s to over 100 in the southern areas, 90s across the rest of Nevada and Utah, and even up in the upper 80s up into Idaho. However, by later in the weekend into early next week, temperatures start to drop with that cold front, so we will see a significant drop in temperatures of 20 degrees or more, especially over the northern half of the Great Basin. So certainly a cool down ahead. Forecast amounts of precipitation, just some light showers here over the next few days before that cold front moves in, mainly up into Idaho. By Sunday, that trough really starts to push across the Great Basin, pushing that cold front into the area with cooler temperatures and some moisture, especially across Idaho and Wyoming, but that moisture will also dip down into northwest Nevada, possibly even the northwest Sierra. But we will see those stronger winds out ahead of this system, so very gusty winds across all of Nevada and Utah. We do have high risk for southern Nevada into southern Utah and the Arizona Strip for these gusty winds and very dry conditions where the fuels are critical. We will see wind gusts above 40 miles per hour. On Monday, that cold front continues to sweep across the Great Basin. We'll actually see some moisture push into northern and even possibly central Utah for some light shower activity, but still very strong winds ahead of it. Winds might be stronger on Monday in the far south than on Sunday, so still have some high risk for those gusts above 40 or 45 miles per hour. So we move into Tuesday, that cold front moves off to the east and we see some ridging off the west coast. And by Wednesday, we will see those warmer and drier conditions across the Great Basin. So the ridge again rebuilds for a rebound of the temperatures going into the middle of next week. Forecast amounts of precipitation are shown here. You can see quite a bit of new precipitation again for Idaho into Wyoming, some lighter precipitation into northern Utah, northern Nevada. We could see that precipitation drop a little bit further south in western Nevada, and also even some showers over central Nevada. The 8 to 14 day outlook, taking us from June 16th through the 22nd, shows some cooler conditions over western sides of the Great Basin, along with some above normal precipitation again into parts of Idaho. This will be another cold front moving through, so again, another round of some cooler weather, also windy conditions. We will also likely see really the first push of the monsoon, possibly later next